Optima Jim back in my garage answering the question of what amperage rate do I charge an Optima battery at? And the answer is we recommend a maximum amperage rate of 10 amps unless you're using an Optima charger maintainer. The D1200 Plus may charge for a little while at up to 15 amps, but it's microprocessor controlled, as are the D400 Plus, the D200 Plus, even the old D400 and the older generation of Optima chargers and maintainers. That means that they will taper amperage and voltage over time. Not every charger does that. And some chargers will go from 10 amps up to 50 or 100 or more. Like this Autometer charger, it's a 150, 200 amp charger. Now, if you've got a battery like this Group 78, it's a 50 amp hour battery. If you connect that to a charger that charges at a 200 amp rate, and this battery maybe is only 50% discharged, meaning it only needs 25 amp hours, and you plug it into 200 amp hours, it's not going to take long. If that charger is not regulated, that battery is going to be severely overcharged in very short order. That's why we recommend the 10 amp rate, because it's a decent number on a battery like this. If it's completely discharged, it'll probably take at least 5 or 6 hours to charge it. And a lot of times people connect a charger to their battery, they walk away and they forget about it. You shouldn't do that. You should check your battery periodically. It's okay if it gets warm while it's charging, but if it gets hot to the touch, stop charging right away because there's some kind of issue with that battery. But I really can't stress enough, people say you need a special charger. You don't need a special charger for Optima batteries, okay? Avoid gel or gel/AGM settings, because Optima batteries are not gel batteries. They're all the red tops, yellow tops, blue tops. They're all AGM batteries. But if it has an AGM setting, that's great. Otherwise, the regular setting, the deep cycle setting works fine, and a 10 amp maximum. And do the math on it, okay? Like this is a 50 amp hour battery. This big Group 31 is a 75 amp hour battery. So it's not going to take as long to charge this red top as it will to take this blue top if they're both discharged 80%. But do that math in your head and try to figure out if you're not using an Optima charger or maintainer, if you're using one that is properly regulated so it won't overcharge the battery. We've seen pictures, you've seen the pictures of what batteries look like when they get overcharged. Sometimes in the case of Optima batteries, the cells will actually pop out of the case when the internal pressure exceeds the ability of the vent ports to vent that pressure. You've seen even more catastrophic destruction with regular flooded lead acid batteries where the cases just crack and the acid gets sprayed everywhere. It's not a good situation. And I can demonstrate to you what it looks like when you charge with an unregulated charger and it just doesn't know when to stop. I'll use a case to show you how to do that. So I have a DH7 yellow top here. Obviously there's no positive or negative plates in the battery. I've filled it about 3/4 of the way with water. And the water, for the purposes of this demonstration, is going to represent the amount of electricity inside the battery. And I'm going to get a hose and continue filling it with the hose. That's going to demonstrate a charger putting more electricity into that battery and what can happen if you don't have a regulated charger. So the hose is filling up the cells here. It's getting near the top and it's not regulated. Now a regulated charger with a microprocessor will say it's getting near the top. Let's slow the current down. Let's not put too much in there, and it'll taper it near the end, and now you can see it's full. And it should stop charging. It should go into maintenance mode, but it's not a properly regulated charger, and so the battery is getting overcharged. And that's when you run into those really dangerous situations where batteries can potentially explode, because batteries do have the ability to vent excess pressure, and you'll get that rotten egg smell when you smell that, but they can only do it to a certain extent. If the amount of energy going into the battery exceeds the ability of the vent ports to relieve that pressure, you're going to have a catastrophic situation. So we recommend 10 amps maximum when charging Optima batteries, and keep an eye on them, please. If you don't have a charge, especially if you don't have a charger that's properly regulated, because you could run into a situation like this where the battery gets extremely overcharged and it could be very catastrophic, certainly damaging to a vehicle if it's inside a vehicle. Head over to www.optimabatteries.com to learn more about Optima batteries and Optima chargers.